Maa Kamakya, Maa Tara, Bhairava. So we are at that time of the year when the Ambubachi mela is about to start in Kamakhya. I mean, these days it's very popular, so there are hundreds of people who are making videos on it and reels and giving all kinds of advices. It's wonderful. But Ambubachi essentially is, as we are aware, that it is that period of the year uh, when Surya enters into the, it has already entered in the Sankranti, into the Mithun Rashi, and specifically in the Adra Nakshatra, when for a period of 3 to 4 days, uh, the temple of Kamakhya becomes the congregation ground for all kinds of tantric practitioners, aghoris, and Nath yogis, and everybody from across India. Even people who are very rare, they come there. It's like a Kumbh Mela of Shakti. And the water inside the Garbhagriha turns red. Now, there are scientific explanations for this, but the spiritual explanation is very simple. It is the time of the year when it is believed that Maa Kamakya, the Devi, becomes Rajaswala. It's like a woman in periods. The temple is closed at that time. Nobody is allowed to enter the Garbhagriha. It's a period of seclusion. Though a basic Nimittika puja, Nitya puja actually, is done every day by the priest, but no other person, so no Kamya puja happens in that time, which means that when you go into the presence of the Devi and you ask for something, I need a job, I need money, I need health, I need this, that, etc., whatever. So these things are not done during these period of time. Another thing is during Ambubachi, the energy of that whole Nilachal Parvat actually changes. There is subtle change in the energy, but only if you are an upasaka. I mean, these days there are a lot of people who go there who may or may not be doing any sadhana, but just to see other people, which is fine, I guess, each one to his own path. I have been to Ambubachi at least 3 times in different years and had various types of experiences. There's once I had stayed for nearly 20-25 days leading up to the Ambubachi. Anyway, the main point that I want to make is that if you are connected to Maa Kamakya, specifically have a strong contact with the Devi and you have had some experience of bliss that comes in Kamakya Upasana. See, this is the beauty of Kamakya. She will generate a sense of bliss. And I do not mean only the formal way of Upasana. Some people believe Kamakya Upasana means only the way in which after Diksha, the mantra that is given of Kamakya, or the Upasana of Kameshwari or Tripur Sundari, or Shorashi, or these forms only. No. Kamakhya is like Paravidya. All the amnas are inside her. Every single mantra is inside the Yonipita. Every single mantra of any devata. From her, she projects the Dasa Mahavidyas because these are the 10 focal points of Parashakti. These are the 10 vital doorways through which one can enter Parashakti. It is very difficult for somebody to actually enter into the deepest states of Kamakhya Upasana. Very difficult. If you advance to a high state, and this advancement, by the way, is her domain. She will decide if you can advance or if you cannot. It's not so simple as just having a few dikshas. Diksha is very easy these days. Hundreds of people have dikshas. Means nothing by itself until there is a change in the aura and the change in the energy. You see a person, you meet a person, you interact with a person, you observe a person, and you can make out whether they have Shakti or whether they do not have Shakti. As you go very, very deep in the Upasana of Kamakhya, she very carefully, and this is very high Kolo Upasana, by the way. In the Sattvic form also you can worship, but when she is worshipped in the offerings of the Panchatattva, then the sadhana becomes faster. But as one goes deeper into her domain, and if she allows, then organically the Devi in the Yonipita selects a specific form of Mahavidya and puts the Upasaka into the path of that Mahavidya. Sometimes it could be more than one Mahavidya also, but fundamentally there will be one Mahavidya So Kamakhya appears to that Upasaka in the form of that Mahavidya, because all the Mahavidyas are Kamakhya only, all 10 of them. Not only the Mahavidyas, but there are also Navayonis inside, there are the Matrikas inside, there are the Pancha Shivas on the hill, there is Bhairava, there is the Kshetrapala Durga, uh, various other forms are there, Yoginis are there. All of them are projections of Kamakhya. She is the central form, and these are the Parivaras. And they also feed on the Shakti of Kamakhya. Just like the Upasaka, as he's doing more and more sadhana, as he's going deeper into the path, the first sign of progress is that you become more engaged, more absorbed in a state of samadhi. Samadhi like condition happens in the mantra and the path of Kamakhya. This happens. There are different types of samadhi. I don't mean only closing your eyes and entering samadhi. Sometimes it could be a state of samadhi even when you are walking, talking, interacting with the world. Basically, the human mind that you are born with is filled with ignorance of the 6 chakras. The Shata chakras are transformed. At least the base 3 have to be transformed. And from the Vishnu Granthi onwards, there is a change that is brought forth. And then one enters into a very deep state of absorption in the Devata. And that itself brings a state of ananda, bliss. Bliss is very, very crucial in the path of Maa Kamakya, regardless of whatever Mahavidya you are worshipping. So anybody who has some contact with the energy of Maa Kamakya specifically, uh, whether they have been doing the Kamakya Stotram or done the sadhanas related to Kamakya Stotram that I have mentioned, etc., or who follow the videos, the guidances that I give, for them, this is a very key period of time. There are certain basic things to remember. Because the Devi is in a state of seclusion, this period of Ambubachi is basically a state of inner development. It is not a period when you do elaborate pujas to any devata. No. What you can do is stay simple, eat less, focus on mantra japa wherever you might be. You need not be actually in the Kamakhya Pita, you could be at your home. But these 4 days, do not do elaborate pujas. What you need to do is focus on mantra japa and dhyana. These are the 2 key things, because you have to internalize in this phase. Whose mantra? It could be any Devi mantra. For people who are again connected to me specifically and follow the guidances of these videos, they may do the Ma Durga 32 names. They can do the Ashtottara Nama of Tara. They can even do intense japa of the Tara mantra that I have mentioned during the 16th Thursday Matara Sadhana. It will produce very powerful change, transformative change in the consciousness if you do that. One can also chant the Kamakhya Stotram intensely these few days, and those who know it by heart, you can keep chanting them. So there are no rules as such. This is not a sadhana where you have to take any sankalpa also. Nothing is needed. In fact, no pujas are done. In many formal places, the vigrahas at home are kept covered in cloth. But that is only if you have a contact with Kamakhya. If you don't have a contact with Kamakhya internally, then it does not matter. There are many temples where vigrahas are not closed also. But if you do have, if you are connected to me, if you are connected to the Kamakhya Bhairav Kula, if you are connected to the sadhanas that I give, then you already have some contact with Maa Kamakya. And then in that state, you do not do any kind of intense puja part. Definitely avoid homas on that. In this phase of time, homas are strictly not to be done. All fire rituals are to be done before Ambubachi starts and only after Ambubachi ends, not within that phase of time. But what you do is you spend time doing japa, as much japa as you want. It can be done sitting in your puja space, it can be done while walking, talking, anything. I mean, traveling. But keep your mind focused on the deity. Keep your mind focused on the feet of the Devi. I will not mention a Kamakhya mantra. There are quite a few very interesting Kamakhya mantras. There are people who keep mailing regarding a mantra that comes very often, where are 2 Vijas, the Kama Vija repeats twice, and then the name of Kamakhya in a particular uh, way comes, and then again the Kama Vija comes twice. and then Nama. So this mantra is very popular, but I think this comes from some versions of the Yogini Tantra. I have not searched for it very deeply, but I did find some versions of the Yogini Tantra that mention this mantra. So basically this will work. It's not that it won't work. Even Om Kamakya Nama will also work. Om Kamavija Kamakya Nama will also work. Or Om Kamavija and Kamakhya Nama will also work. All these will work. Kamakhya is such a Devi. She's also, remember, not just of the formal Kola Tantra Puja, but she is also the Devi of the Savar Vidyas. So Savar mantras, if you are aware, not even Sanskrit mantras, the rules are very different. They don't have Nyas and all that things. You just have to have solid faith on the Devi and start off. And she shows results. Kamakhya shows results. There's no doubt about it. I have seen it many times. I have seen other people using it many times. So basically, even if you don't know the proper paddhati and the vidhi, if you keep chanting the name of Kamakhya, that itself becomes a mantra. But whatever you do, whether you are chanting any of these mantras of Maa Kamakya or the Kamakhya stuti, which is very powerful, beautiful stuti, or if you're doing the mantra of Tara, or if you're doing a chanting of the 32 names of Ma Durga during this phase, be very relaxed. No need for any kind of elaborate setups. Just one diya would be fine. And then no need for even a sankalpa. You don't have to take a sankalpa that I will finish so much amount of japa in 2-3 days. No, just keep doing it with good faith and having, if you have seen Kamakhya, if you have visited Kamakhya, remember the experience, remember the Garbhagriha and keep chanting. That's all. As much as you chant, whatever degree you can chant, it's up to you. You can do 100 recitations, you can do 250, 240 recitations, you can do 360 recitations, you can do 540 recitations, or you can do 1000 recitations in 3-4 days, depends on your time, or you can just do even 27 recitations. It's totally, completely up to you. There are no specific rules. The only rule is that you should avoid doing homa and any kind of kamya pujas, which means that you are doing a wish fulfilling puja in that phase. No. But if you have already started, if you're in the middle of an anushthan that you have started and it passes through the phase of Ambubachi, then you carry on that anushthan. There is no problem with that. But do not start a new anushthan in that phase. Do not start any kind of uh, worship of any devata where specific desires come into play, that specific results are being sought after. Those are not to be done. Specifically, for whom are those not to be done? By people who are connected to the Shakti of Kamakhya in some format or the other, people who have reverence, who follow the videos that or the guidances that I mentioned in videos, people who are one way or the other connected to the Kamakya Bhairav Kula, anybody who has any contact with Kamakhya should avoid doing any kamya pujas in that time, should avoid any fire rituals in that time, because those can have very negative or different type of consequences than normal. So this is a period where you spend in dhyana, you spend in japa, you spend in reflection and internalization as far as possible. It's like a 3-day period. If you can maintain monam, then it is even better. Even better. I mean, I'm again not a hard fast rule, because you might have to go to office or various other activities, but if you can maintain complete silence, not uttering a single word and just focusing on the mantra, you will have very nice transformative experiences. At the end of the day, why exactly are we doing sadhana? Because we want to transform ourselves so that we can come in communion with the Devi and the Devata, and that will bring a change inside us that transforms the human condition of sorrow and suffering into one of bliss and immortality, of eternal existence. You realize what the Atman inside is, and you realize that what is the glimpse of immortality that stays within you. And that will not come until all the karmas and all the vikaras of the chitta are finally subsided and calmed down. And because it is such a humongously difficult task, having done innumerable kinds of activities across lifetimes and lifetimes, it is only by the power of the Devi or the Devata whom you are worshipping, of Ishta Devata, of Bhairava, of Kamakhya, of Tara. They have infinite amount of Shakti. So if they are If they are kind on an individual, they will be able to remove the afflictions of the karmas, of their own karmas. And once it gets reduced, immediately the doors of perception clean up, and you enter into the state of deep absorption, deep bliss that is generated to self-absorption. And that itself is the prize of the sadhana. That itself is the end result. That itself is why we are doing the sadhana in the first place. And that is the biggest of all siddhis. So I hope you have a good time during Ambubachi. Utilize this phase. Utilize this phase if you are doing Devi sadhanas, and if you are connected to the sadhanas that I mentioned, because it is the time for, because once you internalize, that is where you enter into domains of accomplishment of siddhi. Siddhi doesn't, the true siddhi does not come in the external, it comes all internalization of the Shakti as you pierce through the veils of ignorance that you have self created inside your heart. And then you enter into like an ocean, endless ocean of bliss. That is when you realize what is the beauty of sadhana. I hope this is helpful to whoever is listening. Jai Maa Kamakya, Jai Maa Tara, Jai Bhairava.